Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all good? I hope so. Y'all, let's get into episode 3 of Heart and Hustle Houston, and it's titled Very Cutesy, Very Demure. So episode 3 opens with Ro and Chloe checking in. So Chloe tells Ro that Latoria told her that apparently Alaina said that Josh wouldn't be caught with someone like her. Now, those aren't the words that Latoria said. At least that's not what we saw in the scene. But maybe that's how Chloe received it. By her hearing, Alaina said that you can't pull a man like Josh to Chloe sounded like Josh wouldn't even look twice at someone like her. That's why I'm big on asking people to repeat it to me verbatim or get so-and-so on the line. Or even when I'm having conversations with a person, I tell them to repeat back to me what I said so I know that we're on the same page. But now Chloe has Ro feeling like Alaina was wrong for saying that and that Chloe needs to confront her. Chloe was just going to let it ride, but Ro feels like she should talk to her because the situation between them may get worse. So now over at Escape Spa, LeBrina has invited some of the ladies to receive an exclusive experience at her spa. She did not invite Chloe and Alaina because she said this was a day for relaxation and that's not the type of energy you want at a relaxing setting. Some people, because child, you know I'll be over there on Twitter doing the show. Some people feel like LeBrina was doing too much by not inviting them, but if that's not the energy she wanted at her establishment, then it is what it is. So Latoria and Muneera are sitting there waiting for the other ladies, and Latoria tells Muneera that she looks cutesy. Muneera says she's not 5, like I'm not a kid. So Latoria says, well, 11. Muneera says 11 is not a compliment. So Latoria says 11 plus 11, 22. And Muneera says, okay, that's better. And then LeBrina comes out and gets the ladies. Muneera and Ro, they head off to get their massages, and LeBrina and Latoria stay at the bathing area. So LeBrina asked Latoria, like, who is that dude at the rodeo? She said he's in the news field and they've been knowing each other for a minute and they had texted each other after that. So LeBrina wants her to contact the guy. Now, mind you, as she's sitting there talking, Latoria goes, is it the jacuzzi that's got me a little warm? Like, it's a little warm in here. And we're going to circle back to that after she meets with Chloe. So LeBrina going to say, girl, let's dust that cat avocados, man. And the reason she said that is because Latoria let her know that she hadn't had relations in 3 years. So she calls him, he picks up, but to me, for some reason, he didn't sound interested. Or it could be that he was just busy because he did say that he was at work. She was like, how about going out for drinks this weekend? He said that he was going to be out of town. Then he was about to say, let's go out next weekend, but he realized that was his birthday weekend. So then he finally says, what about the 20th? So Latoria says, well, just let me know what you want to do and we can get the pregame started for your birthday. No, because he said his birthday was on the 7th. And if he's not celebrating his birthday out of town, why not invite her to stop through? Because it sounds like y'all having this conversation somewhere in March. And I get not going out for drinks that weekend because it was sort of short notice. But y'all, he finally penciled her into his schedule. And LeBrina just back there cheering and coaching on. She just like, yes, girl. So Latoria said that she's interested in seeing what Devin's vibe is going to be. So now all the ladies have come back together to unwind, and LeBrina is asking them if they wanted something to drink. Muneera said that she'll just do the charcuterie board, but LeBrina lets her know that they do have cold pressed juices. So Latoria says, yeah, give her the apple juice. So Muneera was like, we've already talked about this, and I told you, you only have one more time before I start going in. And in her confessional, she says that Latoria is getting on her nerves with the apple juice jokes. LeBrina thanks the ladies for coming and says that she didn't invite Chloe and Alaina because she wanted it to be a good vibe and that she does want everybody to get together for a pool party, including the guys. So Ro chimes in and says that one of the ladies told Chloe that Alaina was talking a little mess about her, and she makes it known that the person was Latoria. Latoria says, I wouldn't consider it mess, but Alaina did say that Chloe couldn't get a man like hers. Then Latoria says that they all need to acknowledge that Alaina has a defense wall up that has nothing to do with them. So they shift gears and Latoria tells the women about her calling the rodeo guy. And Ro went right into, when was the last time you had relations? Or at least that's how it is in the scene. And she says, it's been 3 years. Muneera says, but she did say she was a child of God. And Ro says, you said it a couple of times. Latoria was like, no, I only said it once. And that woman of God come in It came from a time that they went out to eat when Ro was asking all of these questions about what Latoria does when she's having meetings in the bedroom. And Latoria says she tried to deviate the conversation. And that's when she said, hey girl, I'm a child of God. I don't talk about that kind of stuff. So Ro says, by you saying that, you made me feel uncomfortable. I feel like I have to watch what I say around you because are you going to judge me? Latoria's response was, that's crazy because you should stand 10 toes down on who you are. You could be yourself wherever you go. Rose says, no, it's not about that. Latoria says it is. And Rose says, it's about me not wanting to make other people feel uncomfortable about how I talk. Latoria says it's not going to make her feel uncomfortable, and the Southern Belle in her just doesn't talk about relations with a whole bunch of people. And listen, that's cool, but when you say stuff like, I'm a woman of God, or I'm a Southern Belle, those statements can make some people feel like you're judging them or putting yourself on a pedestal. You already know how people feel sometimes when folks throw religion into something that's like, that ain't even got nothing to do with what we talking about. And I think Latoria has a defense wall up just like Alaina, because what I was hearing Rose say was, I know you don't talk like this and I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable by me standing 10 toes down on who I am. I have a respect for you that I would never want to do that. I don't want me being me to make you feel uncomfortable or even make you not want to be around me because you may feel like I'm always talking about stuff that that you don't really talk about. You don't engage in these type of conversations. So when you said that you were a child of God, I was like, well, dang, who should think I am? The spawn of Satan or something? Like Latoria said in her confessional, Ro is an open book. But she also said, but sometimes you have to close the book and leave the library. But I'm thinking, how about you just leave the library, Latoria? That way you don't have to worry about the book being open or what page she on. And that's just me. That's just how I see it. So Rose says, listen, we got to talk about relations. And Latoria gonna say, I ain't having it. So what's there to talk about? Now that was funny when she said that. So then Latoria, she stops by Chloe's. She fills her in about her conversation with the rodeo guy. But Chloe, she ain't feeling that the guy put Latoria off like that. So then Latoria tells her what Ro said, and Chloe, she was a little thrown off by that because she feels like Latoria is very open with Ro. Chloe feels that the women are just sensitive. From Ro feeling like Latoria was judging her with the woman of God comment, to Alaina being in her feelings about Chloe not saying Josh was fine, to Chloe saying that Josh wasn't fine, to like not being invited to the spa day. So Latoria says, I told you I haven't had relations in 3 years. And Chloe said, oh, I'm sorry. So Latoria says, I know, girl, help me, Lord. But Latoria says she thought their friend group was about being yourself. But by Rose saying that she made her feel uncomfortable, that took her back to her childhood where she really couldn't say anything because she was the big girl in the class and some folks thought she was aggressive, the bully. And she said growing up being dark skinned and plus size, she had to fine tune her words. And as she's gotten older, she's healed, but she doesn't want to tiptoe around people. She just want to be herself and be understood. And also, she also said, quote, to be amongst friends and not be received and to be misunderstood, that makes her feel some type of way. End quote. And we're going to circle back to that too. So she's like, do I need to remove myself from the friend group? And Chloe's like, girl, you ain't going nowhere. So over at Muneera's, Rose stops by. Muneera tells her that every time she sees Latoria, she always has some kind of kitty joke. And Rose says she understands because her whole life people always felt the need to point out that she was tall and heavy in her chest and the backside. And she was like, okay, I know this. You don't have nothing else to say? And the opposite is what Latoria says to Muneera. And Muneera says it could be a trigger for her because in her line of work, people always had to bring up her age and how she looked, and she had to continue to prove herself. And she didn't like when people referred to her as a child because she's a grown woman. And Ro lets her know that Latoria probably didn't take her seriously because she was smiling. And I get that because I laugh and smile when I'm serious. Then Ro goes to see Dr. Angela Jones. This is her therapist, and this is her first time going to therapy. She says that she was apprehensive, but she wanted to step outside of her comfort zone. The therapist wanted to know what was Ro looking to gain from the sessions. And Ro says, like, who can I talk to about all the stuff I go through because I put everybody else before me? And the therapist pointed that out and wanted to know if Ro understood why she does it. Like, where did you get that from? And that was an aha moment for Ro as well. She said she just takes everything on the chin and just keep it moving. She also said that she's not able to have feelings. And I would like to know, like, why does she feel like she can't have feelings? So Dr. Angela tells her that she can feel that Ro compartmentalizes a lot, but everything's still gonna mesh together. And when that happens, it seems like it makes her uncomfortable. And Ro brings up how her job was affecting her relationship with her daughter and how she would snap on her sometimes because she just needed time to unwind. But after she thought about it, she would go to Sophia and apologize. And Ro said that she can't remember a time in her life when anybody in her house apologized to her. Dr. Angela let her know basically, you are breaking generational curses. And your daughter is going to remember that my mom would apologize to me. She never acted like she was perfect. She didn't act like she never do anything wrong. She didn't act like she was too big, like she the mama, that she couldn't apologize to me. And Ro realizes that she doesn't have to hold everything in. She can actually talk about it and take that burden off of herself. And Dr. Angela says the same way you have to be authentic in therapy, it's the same way you have to show up in the world and with your daughter because you're the first picture of a woman that she will see. So then Ro points out that she feels like the oddball within the group of ladies. But when she has certain conversations with the ladies, it just seems like they're being fake, specifically Latoria. And that she felt like Latoria was being judgmental when she said that she was a woman of God. But Dr. Angela wants Ro to be herself because that's what makes her special. But at the same time, it'll remove inauthentic people from her life. And in her confessional, she says she feels like she has to watch what she say because she's being super real and everybody else has their mask on. And this is a circle back moment because to me, Latoria was a bit more open with LeBrina and Chloe. When she was acting like she was getting hot when LeBrina brought a rodeo guy and when she tapped glasses with Chloe over not having relations in 3 years, that's not how she was acting when they did that flashback to dinner where she made the woman of God statement or when she made the Southern Belle statement in her confessionals. But at the same time, Ro has to be willing to accept when Latoria doesn't want to engage in those type of conversations. Like maybe Ro goes 3X's while Latoria is still trying to get comfortable with rated R. If you get what I'm saying. So then Dr. Angela gives Ro homework and she tells her to find herself in the ladies. Connect with the ladies. There's a certain part in any woman that you can connect with and that'll help make the relationships authentic and it'll make the connection stronger. So now we've made it to the pool party. Everybody's around the pool. Chloe and Jordan arrived and Jordan, he brought flowers and I thought that was nice. So Chloe asked them like, what y'all been doing? And LeBrina gonna say, we was just waiting to see if Jordan was fine or not. The women give Chloe her props. LeBrina says, so this is Chloe's definition of fine? I guess. And baby, the folks on Twitter talking about, hold up, LeBrina, while your husband over there sounded like he got CTE. I'm like, ooh, baby, y'all be hard over here on Twitter. So Latoria gonna tell Alaina and Josh that they look like a photo shoot and that Alaina is glowing. And before Alaina could get it out her mouth, I was like, you see that sun reflecting off that pool on that lady? Latoria, stop. Then she decided that it was a good idea to ask this lady if her and Josh would consider renewing their vows. And I'm with LeBrina. Y'all already know Alaina is going through something in her marriage. So why would you even ask her that in front of everybody? Especially after you sat over there on spa day and said we need to be careful when it comes to Alaina because she has a defense wall up. So Josh gonna say, maybe at the next milestone. Latoria said, I thought you was gonna say next week. next week. Wrote in the confessionals like, dang, leave it alone. Like, let it go. But it was when Josh gonna say, what would be the occasion for next week? This man literally asks what would be the occasion. Like he needs it to be an occasion for him to renew his vows. So Alaina asked him what would be the next milestone for him. He said, to be honest, 20 years. But why Latoya gonna say, oop? Like, ma'am, you started this. You shouldn't have brought up nothing. You should not have brought up anything about renewing the vows. You should not, no. So in her confessional, Alaina says she get 20, being a major milestone for him. But what she's gone through and dealt with, she needed her spouse to say immediately. And then she's tearing up again. Why would you even want him saying immediately? If anything should be immediate, it should be a divorce. Because why are you constantly choosing to be in a marriage that is no longer serving you? You are not happy. What are you holding on to? It's easy for LeBrina to say the man that she's with now is not the same man who was drilling down every chick while he was playing football. And that she basically waited for him to get it together. Like, I'm waiting for you to get all this out your system. But that ain't your story, Alaina. And it doesn't have to be. How about you choose yourself? The same way you should have chosen yourself by not walking down the aisle. Because if he would do that to you before I do, what made you think he wouldn't do it after I do? And now you're over there trying to stay above water on these waves they talking about. Whew. So they move on over to the table so they can eat. Alaina thanks LeBrina for inviting them over for the pool party, but she still got on her mind that this man said 20 years. So she asks Josh, why didn't he say the 15-year mark? Chloe says 20 years isn't guaranteed, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Alaina says that she appreciates Josh wanting to do individual therapy, but she needs him to understand the amount of effort she will need in order to move forward. But she said that she's been in the same place for a very long time. And why is that, Alaina? Why? The answer should be easy. The word start with a C. Okay? Then Chloe says if she married Jordan, it would be the same thing because she loves being married. And she's ready to be married again like tomorrow. LeBrina told her, baby, pump the brakes. Hold up, okay? She says that she cares about Chloe, and considering everything that Chloe has gone through, she needs to make sure that Jordan has the right intentions. So Alaina says that her and Josh got married at 23 and 24, and she understands that there could be maturity there, but she couldn't see herself dating someone younger. So Chloe told her, don't knock it till you try it. Chloe let them know that she always dated older, and she wasn't thinking about dating no young dude. So then Alaina gonna say that she's serious. Like, I'm serious when it comes to relationships. And Chloe was like, me too. So Alaina gonna hunch her shoulders talking about, I don't know. Alaina, the only thing you're doing in this moment is trying to get back at Chloe for saying Josh wasn't fine. Because I'm the type who would have said, I know you're serious. A lot more serious than your husband. Because if you want to play, let's play. So Jordan asked her, well, talking to me, would you think I was 28? That girl said, 25? Talking about there are guys like that in high school. And that's your problem. You have arrested development. You're still stuck in high school. Because what high school, Alaina, have you seen somebody that look like this man? Huh? Shoot. The other women are like, I would have said you were in your 30s. In her confessional, Chloe says, Alaina, we don't play games. That's a grown-ass man. So Alaina knows that she's just still in her feelings, in my opinion, about this woman saying Josh was not fine to her, and Josh saying that he'll renew the vows at the 20-year milestone. So then LeBrina, she pulls Jordan to the side to see if he's serious or just playing games, to get to the money. Chloe was looking around for him and she sees him and LeBrina talking, and LeBrina says that she was trying to see if Jordan valued Chloe the same way Chloe values him. So after that talk, LeBrina says that Jordan seems to have good intentions, but she doesn't feel like he'll be able to execute them, but because he hasn't lived life. And I really want somebody to tell me, what does he hasn't lived life? Like, he hasn't lived enough life. What does that mean? Like, do they need Jordan to go through something similar as Khloe? Do they need him to run like 2 Fortune 500 companies? What exactly is the type of life they need him to live? This man is over 25 years old. He's not a child. It seems like they are stuck on his age and they're giving him a hard time because of it. Not once have I heard them ask Khloe or Jordan, what's your background? What do you do for a living? Is your credit score good? Do you have your own savings? It's like they're not really trying to get to know him to really see what he's about. But I know one person who don't have a problem with it, and that's his mama. Because him, Khloe, and the mama always together. And I know dudes 28, 30, 34 who they've been through way more than Khloe. And they're very mature. They're about their business. Cause over here, we have a 24-year-old paramedic, a 22-year-old teacher, and a 28-year-old who has owned his own barbecue business for 5 years. This man got 4 food trucks, and he stay posted up at different, like, colleges, different events downtown. He be posted up at HBCU homecomings every year. He knows this business backwards and forwards, and he's been through life. So I guess I just don't fully understand exactly what they want from Jordan, because they are not being clear about it. Because if LeBrina feels like Khloe should be with someone closer to her age because they have lived life, that they're more mature and they can execute, then what's the problem with Josh? Cause she's way harder on Jordan than she is with Josh. She's telling Alaina it'll be okay, it's just waves. But I don't want nobody who considers themselves my friend telling me to stay in a marriage that isn't healthy, happy, or loving. Especially when you see that I'm making every excuse in the world and hoping that this man will change. No ma'am, baby. Pull me out the fall. Pull me out the perfect storm. Don't tell me to stay and work it out. Don't do that. So then Ro, Latoria, LeBrina, and Muneera are having a little conversation. And Ro tells them about her going to therapy, and she tells them what her homework assignment is. Latoria tells her that it seems like she's opening up more. And Ro says that she is, but it was the child of God comment. And Latoria corrects her and says, no, I'm a woman of God. So then Muneera points out how Latoria corrected Ro when she said child of God, and she corrected her and said a woman of God. So Muneera says, quote, you have a tendency that I've noticed that every single time I come around is, oh, you look 11. Oh, you look 12. Oh, you drinking apple juice. And it's like the first couple of times it was okay, like Kiki. We both laughing about it. But when you start saying it consistently over and over again, end quote, because Latoria cuts in and says, I said it twice. Muneera says, no, you said it multiple times. And Muneera is correct. And I also noticed that Latoria has this habit of telling folks how many times she said something as if that changes things. I don't care if you said it 1 time or 14 times. I want it to be 0 times. Okay? So Muneera continues and says, at the end of the day, I'm not 11. It's okay that I don't drink alcohol. It's okay that I choose to drink juice. And Latoria says, it's definitely fine. And Muneera continues and says, but what I'm saying is you consistently have a comment to say, oh, you drinking juice today. Oh, Muneera gonna get the apple juice. After a while, it's like, can you come up with another joke? You get what I'm saying? So Latoria says, I won't come up with no jokes with you. Muneera is trying to explain to her, I'm not saying you can't joke. You just didn't stop when it was said, and that's all I'm trying to bring to your attention. So Latoria goes back to when Muneera said, I don't look 11. And Latoria said, okay, 11 plus 11, 22. Latoria says, it was still a compliment to you. Muneera says, we don't have to go back and forth with the details, to which Latoria says, we won't. Muneera is still trying to get Latoria to see that even though she said it was a compliment, her tone came off as shady. And Muneera wanted to know if she was tripping. And no, Muneera was not tripping, because even at the spa, when she made the child of God comment, Latoya looked at Muneera and said, well, you look like a child of God. So Latoya says that they can agree to disagree, because she's kind of done with it. And ain't. We're not about to agree to disagree. Now we can disagree and disagree, because you're saying you only said it twice, that it was a joke, a compliment, and I disagree with that. I said your tone is shady. You said it more than once. And you disagreed. So we're just going to disagree and disagree. I disagree, you disagree. That's just what it is. So LeBrina tells Ro and Latoya to go to the bar, and her and Muneera were going to go to the horses. So as they're walking away, Latoya says that she's not for the attack Latoya. I don't understand why she felt like it was an attack versus someone telling her that she is doing something that they don't like and they want her to stop. Regardless if you see it as a joke or a compliment or not, if I'm telling you that you are doing something to me that I don't like, don't find funny, or take as a compliment, especially in the tone that you are saying it, all I need you to say is you know what I'm saying. You hear me. Because I'm the one that's experiencing it. I am. All I need you to do is apologize and say that you won't play with me like that no more, because I have made it clear to you that I don't like it. Okay? And that you respect me enough to stop doing it. That's it. So Ro explains Muneera is smaller. She does not look her age. She looks younger than what she is. And you don't know what she's gone through in life. You don't know what trigger she has attached to that, which is something Latoya should understand after telling Chloe that by Ro not understanding her, it took her back to middle school. And not being received and misunderstood in the friend group does not feel good, because you're not receiving what Muneera is saying and you're misunderstanding her. And Latoya says, I hear you and I just won't do it no more. And that's exactly what Muneera wants. And whether she's choosing to stop because she's in her feelings, because, in her feelings about Muneera not seeing her joke as a joke, or if she truly understands where Muneera is coming from, the end goal is to stop. So would this put Latoya in the sensitive basket too that her and Chloe was talking about? So Ro tells her that she doesn't want her to shut down. Latoya feels like Muneera saw a target and she went for it. And if that's the case, Muneera can feel the same way, because LeBrina also looks young, but you didn't call her 11. Huh? Yeah. But that was the end of the episode, okay? That was the end of episode 3 of Heart and Hustle Houston. And they did, play the trailer for episode 4. And in that clip, you have Chloe and Jordan. They're at a baseball game, and Jordan is telling her the same way he feels about her now is the same way he's going to feel 15 years from now. And she says, are you sure about that? But what if Nico still lives with me? Jordan says, you can't keep providing for him. Then in the next clip, Alaina is telling Muneera that she doesn't like to be called cute, that she doesn't like the word. And Muneera tries to explain that it's not the word. Then in the last clip, is all the ladies there hanging out, and Shaniqua is back. And my only question is, why is Shaniqua here? Her energy and her vibe, it doesn't even fit the group. And then she comes with some receipts. Receipts for what? You don't even know these women. Please drop her back off at the rodeo. Don't come back. Please don't. And then she called Ro a B. Girl, get up and go home now. Okay? But y'all get down in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought about episode 3 of Heart and Hustle Houston. Tell all your people to tune into the show. At this, right now, people that moved the baby to 8:10. Tune in at 8:10. We just need y'all to tune into the show. The show is very good, y'all. It's a really good show, and you can really have some deep conversations about it, okay? So get down in the comments. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to y'all later.